So, you've never played Fantasy Draft Mode. This year, you should. Hello there folks, my name is Ben. Welcome back to another video on the channel, and let's talk through an updated feature, something that was not really being talked about by anyone anywhere. Yeah, I thought I did a blog on it, but let me show you some of the detail involved in Fantasy Draft Mode. Now, some of you will obviously know that I run the Streamer Showdown, which is based around Fantasy Draft Mode, people competing against each other and playing. And this year, well, this is the year I want you to play. I've done a series on this channel called Draft Wars, and hopefully you've seen that and maybe asked a friend to play, because Football Manager's multiplayer modes and online modes have never really been utilised properly, and the modes that were there have never really been great. This year, there's an improvement. So let's go see Fantasy Draft Mode then, and let's have a look. What has changed in Fantasy Draft Mode? Well, I'm here to tell you. So when you create a draft, some of the new things to point out straight away, there are more options across the screen. You now don't have just Knockout Cup and League, but you have Group Stage or Knockout Round, so you can play with more people over a short amount of time and to keep it all inclusive in the same thing. The budgets have changed as well. You now go from 50 million all the way up to 700 million, but also can click the unlimited option, which means you can draft anyone from anywhere. In the More section, I don't know if you saw me click that, you now get the option, do you want to have VAR in your game or don't you? I don't on this occasion, and required yellow cards for suspensions as well are up there, 1, 2 or 3. So, you know, it's, again, versatility. Options. Shortlist time now, not just locked at 5 minutes, you can have it at 1 minute or 10 minutes. And the draft time limit is still 15, 30, 1 minute and others. You can see. So for this example, we'll do a league. When you hit next, it creates the fantasy draft competition. And again, the new features haven't stopped there, viewers. So a brand new screen for draft mode, and this, as the Streamer Showdown creator, this makes me excited. So they've added in loads of different restrictions that you want to do, whether you only want to pick players that are of 6 foot in height now, or maybe you want to pick players that are 5'6" in height. Set pieces might not be so much of a factor, although actually if everyone's 5'6", maybe they will be. Again, you can add these restrictions as much as you want to. Players that can only be over a certain value. Again, if you're using unlimited, you could limit it to just the best players in the world. Bargain picks are not a thing. Nationalities can obviously be picked. You can do that before, but again, you can see the options: preferred foot, divisions, all sorts of things. But the best thing is this, and it's the range button. So now, if you're doing a draft where you're picking 25 players or 20 players, you now, as an example, can put different divisions in different slots. So in the first 5 picks, you can only pick from the Belgian Pro League. In the next few picks, you can only pick from, you get the gist, from, as I say, the Bahrainian Premier League, as an example. Not a huge amount of eligible players. Down the bottom, it's 5, it says. I don't know if you can quite see that, but you get the drift, and you can change these and add restrictions to every little element of the draft as you go through, making it, in my opinion, that much better, that much more interesting. So let's change one of these to give it a bit of a better example. Let's go England, let's go Premier League. And then for the last ones as well, let's say we can only pick players that are born in the Holland area or Netherlands. Got to get that right. Alternatively, you can take people out of it. So you can say, I don't want any English players, I don't want any of etc. So you can, again, limit it down. You create your team as you always would have done. And there we are. Now, because I've got no friends currently, we're going to add some managers in, which you can do via, of course, you can invite your friends to play. Or if you just want to try it out for yourself, you can add AI managers, of which it just so happens, viewers, I am one. So we'll get me, we'll get Chez, we'll get Ian McIntosh in there as well as Jack Peachman from Work the Space. So we'll get a few guys in. Whether I can beat myself or not, I don't know. And you may have noticed then, on the left-hand side, the draft order no longer has to be random, and you can pick where you'd want those people to be. Of course, you can have it all random, or you can have players, again, picked specifically. So if you're using historical evidence to pick your draft order, or you want to say to the person that wins a previous competition, you can pick where you go in the draft, well, I've got good news. You can. And not only that, the draft now goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Unless you choose otherwise, and you can reverse it, much like it was previously, where it goes all the way along and back again. Snake draft. So as you can, I don't know if you can hear my excitement, viewers, but my interest is piqued. So now then, here we go into the draft, and of course there's no player range values in this, so if you want a sneak peek at what the actual values of players are, then well, draft mode gives you a slight idea. A lot of them are different from last year, as you would probably expect. Some of them have risen a lot, and of course all the transfers have happened, so players are now in different divisions, which makes draft mode for the Streamer Showdown, for example, a lot more interesting. The data we had before, it's not as useful anymore. So if you've done your shortlist, which I haven't, we now come to this section of the draft. You can see all the Belgian players. We've said only Belgian players for this first section, and the draft restrictions are put over on the right-hand side for you, as well as, of course, the draft order. And as the host of the draft, and this is something I like, and what's that? You need to go to the toilet? Not a problem. Let me just pause the draft for everybody while we've got either a disconnection or someone has gone to the toilet. You've no idea how much I love the fact it can be paused. It also means it gives me a little bit longer to pick someone. We'll go Angolan. So yeah, you get the gist. You can now do auto picks as well, and you can, if you're playing on your own, you can just simply skip to the next pick. It comes back to you, and if you say you want a central midfielder from Belgium, and then you auto pick it, this is what happens. That's quite nice, isn't it? So, as you can see, there are some improvements to draft mode, and they don't stop there, viewers. I'm going to finish picking just for the just to move this along a little bit further. So once you've got your squads, this is something that, like, again, you won't all care about, and some of you won't be aware this is even a thing. Now, in terms of stats, there are all the player detail stats that weren't there before. As and when you want them, of course, we're not playing any games yet, but you can't see. Just believe me, they're all there now. You can see all the stats. So maybe, just maybe, I've whet your appetite a little bit for draft mode in FM22. If I have, leave a comment, let me know how excited you are about it. If you've played it before, which change are you most excited about? And if you're not playing it, and this hasn't done it, what would you like to see in future versions of the game? Please do let me know in the comment section, and you never know. So with love, with care, from It's until next time, I'll see you again very, very soon. Draft mode will be on this channel. It'll be on my Twitch channel. It's going to be a good time.